Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I am Z Garcia. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, it is another day, another board game breakfast. We're glad you're here with us. And there's a lot of cool things going on. Lots of exciting board game news that we'll get to in a second. But before we do that, we got a contest.
Huzzah.
All right, this contest is from Syther Gaming. It's OverBattle. And so if you want to see this, it's currently on Kickstarter right now. There's a link to the Kickstarter in the description below. It is a really, when I saw this in person at Board Game Geek Con, a really cool, just giant plastic miniatures. It just looked really neat. And the designer and publisher, really, really great guy. And so we're giving away 2 copies of the game, the 2 winners. You have 48 hours starting now to enter this. The way you enter it is just to email us at contest@dicetower.com and answer this question. Which faction within OverBattle is a visitor to the galaxy? So that's all you got to do. Answer that question. Which faction within OverBattle is a visitor to the galaxy? So you need to send us your address in case you win. And in 48 hours, we'll pick 2 random people to win. So enter now. I was enter often. That's the wrong thing. Enter once. You can't enter more than once.
Enter now, enter once. And good luck to everybody out there.
Also, if you're an employee of the Dice Tower, you cannot enter the contest.
Delete.
Alrighty. So, hey, it is another day. We got some cool news to talk about. Some cool news to talk about.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Alrighty, so first of all in the news, we have what is one of the more logical Risk variants I've seen, and that's Risk Warhammer 40K edition. Doesn't that make sense, though? Like, there's a lot of, I see a lot of these Risks, and sometimes I'm like, but this one makes sense.
I'm holding out for Monopoly Warhammer 40K.
Already been out.
That makes sense.
Already
it's out
done.
already? I missed it. Oh.
Anyway, this is with the op. And in conjunction with Games Workshop. So that's
right.
I guess it's the op, Games Workshop, and maybe they're licensing the game from Hasbro. I'm not sure. But anyway, you could be the Ultramarines, the Orcs, Chaos Space Marines, the Aldery Craft Worlds, or the Gene Stealer Cults. So
nice.
I don't know that I would play Risk, but if I did, this would be one I would consider. Because I like the Warhammer 40K universe slightly.
Is this the universe that has the rat, the Craven, or something, or not? I'm like...
the Skaven. That's in Warhammer, not in 40K.
Oh.
It's 40,000 years before there's Skaven, I think. I'm still not sure.
They didn't survive.
They exterminated the rats.
This looks pretty good. Yeah. I mean, like you said, if I was going to play straight up Risk with maybe a small twist and not like a real different kind of game, yeah, Warhammer sounds like a good change up. I like it.
All right, Aconite announces a Twilight Imperium novel, The Fractured Void, which apparently, from what has been said, you can finish reading the book before someone finishes the game. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how long the book is. Can you imagine? I sit there, I got the book, and we're like, ready, set, go. I start reading.
That's great. That sounds hilarious. All right.
It's
are you someone who's into this kind of thing, Tom? Do you like the idea of fiction set in board game universes?
Not particularly. I read the Galaxy Trucker book. That was weird.
Uh-huh.
I've read, I think, one of the Magic the Gathering books and one of the Warhammer 40K books, and I didn't like either one of those. It's all, I don't know. It's not something I've ever felt like I need it. There's already great sci-fi universes out there.
Right. Yeah, it's tricky. Sometimes these conversions from one media to another, one medium to another work, and sometimes not quite. We were just talking recently about a TV show based on paintings. Tales from the Loop.
Yeah, that's true.
And that one, it's weird.
The guy who's writing it, his name's Tim Pratt. He's written quite a few novels. In fact, some of them are award-winning things. He's written a lot of short stories. I'm looking at his biography here. He's written some stuff from Pathfinder, a lot of Pathfinder tales that Paizo's published. So I don't know. I have hope for it, but then again, will I even read it? Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's neat. I'm glad it exists.
In news everyone cares about, Life 60th anniversary. It came out in 1960, and they're sharing little-known facts about the game. 60 things you didn't know about Life, Z.
All right. Hit me.
All right. Most people, if you do board games, the games was based on the 1860 game called The Checkered Game of Life. And that was Milton Bradley got the rights for that game back in 1959. He got the rights for that game.
Okay.
And then they redid it with another designer. So let me see here. The average it takes to play the game is an hour. You have a 10.45% chance of landing on the payday space and getting paid. The game was meant to be educational. Yeah, sure. Now we're going to come up to some facts which I'm not currently convinced on.
Okay.
It says there's only one available licensed version of the Game of Life for sale. Okay, sure. Right? It's not like Monopoly. You get Life.
Right.
Then they say surveys show that the board game is owned by half of U.S. households with kids ages 8 to 17. I call that baloney.
Wow.
That's a pretty...
I guess it depends.
To say it's in half of U.S. houses with kids.
Well, they did say survey shows. Maybe that's simply...
Survey shows?
That statement might mean of everyone we surveyed, half have it. Really, legally, that might be what that means.
No, I get that, but that's not... I understand that, but I'm just saying...
I'm saying Hasbro's got them deep pockets, got the best lawyers in the business, baby. They can spin that statement to mean whatever they want it to mean. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the next statement...
How old are you, kid? I'm 19. Well, you're 17 now, because we need this to be a counted household.
The next statement's even more bunch of hogwash, where it says the Game of Life is considered the most recognized board game in Japan and South Korea. I can't speak for Japan, but I lived in South Korea, and I don't know if I saw the Game of Life once in stores. Holly golly, Go, chess are everywhere there.
Yeah.
Life? Come on now. That is baloney. Of course, they said it's considered. There was some 8-year-old. He's like, you know what? I think.
I consider Life to be the most. Yeah, I don't know. Again, these are slightly soft statements, man.
All right, so we'll go back to facts. It's put in National Toy Hall of Fame in 2010, along with the stick. They didn't say that. The game cost $6 when it came out in 1960. Right. If you have a copy of that today, it's $120. The game has $22,300,000 in it. I knew it had a lot of money because when we were kids, we used to talk about what game would you want if the money in it was real.
What's better? What's better, this or Monopoly?
No, because Monopoly, the biggest bill is $500.
So this is better?
This is in the millions, baby.
Got it.
So, yeah, there's a lot of facts on here that they talk about.
What sounds... cool. I guess I have to go celebrate and buy a copy of the Game of Life.
All right, let's move on. Okay, this is the fourth Rising game now from the Op. We started with Thanos Rising, then there was Dark Eaters Rising, and then for Harry Potter, and then there was Darkseid Rising for the Star Wars. Now we have the Batman Who Laughs Rising.
Mm-hmm.
This is the DC one. Although this is a universe, I'm assuming this is from a video game?
No, this is a comic. I looked it up. Because apparently this is an alternate universe, like another, whatever, you know how comics are. But the Batman Who Laughs is a super villain from an alternate dimension, which is it's the Batman from that universe, an evil Batman, who is kind of like the Joker and Batman, has sort of the characteristics of both. And so in some of the comics, Batman had to team up with the Joker to mimic this guy because the combination mimics this guy to take this guy down. But yeah, that's as far as I got, and then I clicked away.
Interesting. I want to go read more about that. But this cover is horrifying.
No, I mean this guy looks really disturbing. I don't know if I want to read this. I want to read this kind of comic book. He's got like 3 goblin-looking little robins on chains.
I don't know what's going on there.
Really messed up. I don't know.
So here's some surprising news. I thought Z-Man returns the publishing rights to Furland Spiel. So this includes Terra Mystica, Feast for Odin. They've been working with these Gaia Project and stuff, and so they're returning the English and French rights to Furland. They're still going to be carrying some of these games in America, or distributing them in America. That's A Feast for Odin, Fields of Arle, and Lowlands. All 3 of those games, I think, are Lookout games. I wonder if the name Lookout is being disbanded. Doesn't it feel that way? Like Mayfair's gone. Mayfair's already kind of a memory, which is weird because it's not that far back. But I think they're also kind of fading out Lookout, and they want Z-Man to be Lookout.
Yeah,
does that sound legit?
I guess so. But then again, I mean, I really don't know. I don't understand how some of these things work. I think that's a good idea to have a single brand, like this sort of brand fragmentation, like Lookout games only come out from Z-Man anyway, so just say Z-Man. Like that kind of thing, I think is a good idea. But then you have companies that start secondary studios that do things that are marginally different. And I'm like, why would you do that? Plan B Games now has Next Move. Like, why? What else are you making, Plan B, that you need to differentiate between Plan B Games and Next Move? You're just go with one thing. So if that's what they're doing, phasing out the brand Lookout, go for it. I think it's a good idea. Well,
they've really done that in America because they've kind of, Asmodee has narrowed it down. It's Fantasy Flight and Z-Man. That's what it feels like, right?
And they moved around some properties to sort of make sense in their new respective houses, yeah.
Well, speaking of moving stuff around, then Terra Mystica and Gaia Project are now coming from Capstone Games. And as far as I can tell, this is essentially just Capstone Games putting their logo on the boxes, as far as I can tell, because Z-Man's press release said that the pieces were compatible, or, like if you basically, since Asmodee won't replace your pieces, Capstone can. That's not what they said. But this is big news because these are 2 very well-known games. They're very highly ranked on Board Game Geek. And this really solidifies Capstone as kind of the Euro game king, I think, in English at this point. They've really taken over that. We're putting out the heavier Euro games. I don't know who else is doing that in English, really. Rio Grande's kind of phased. They're doing lighter stuff for the most part.
Yeah. CGE has done a little bit of it, but they're not as focused on that kind of game. I think Capstone. When I think Capstone, I know it's a heavy Euro game.
Well, for the most part, they do have their lighter line of games they do, and they're not always heavy, but they're definitely crunchy, even if they're light for the most part. And I mean, their other brand is called Simply Complex. That's for that thing. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, this is good, and this is just this is how the industry moves and waves around it. All right. Atheneum. This is from Renegade Games. It's about a magical library, which I find a little odd because this is the 2nd game they've done with this theme.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I mean, how many games about a magical library do you need? I just find that odd.
It seems strange, yeah, but I like the look on this one quite a bit. This is a beautiful, beautiful cover, and I like the designing team here.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly interested in the game itself. I'm only the theme I thought was odd because what was the other game called? It was
oh gosh, from Renegade, the library game. I don't recall off the top of my head. A weird name a little bit. So does this one, for that matter.
Atheneum. Yeah.
I think it might be Atheneum.
Atheneum. Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, again, I wonder if they're facing the other game out. Games do move out pretty quickly.
I think that game might be out of print right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one's coming out. Ex Libris. That's the name of it. Thanks to our viewers. Thanks, Gator Dave. Yeah, Ex Libris. This one's coming out in September, so we'll find out more then.
Yeah,
yeah, great art.
Same
great
designers as Obscurio and One Key, which are really neat kind of party-ish games. So I'm looking forward to this.
All right, the UK Games Expo has been canceled. They had originally postponed it to August, and at this point, it has been canceled. And we're not going to get into all the details of that. If you're going to the con, you can go online, and they handled everything very well. So there's more of this stuff happening.
Right.
Ars Technica has released a list of 30 board games to play during quarantine. They listed family games, 2-player games, solo games. It's a pretty good list, I think. You know, a lot of cool games.
I'm looking at it here. This is not bad. Yeah.
I mean, the solo games are pretty. That's a pretty strong list. Although some of those games, I'm like, whew. I hope you're not recommending this to like some casual guy comes in and goes, "Huh, Mage Knight." I feel like I'll try that.
That sounds cute. Yeah. No, it's a good list. It's very strong. I like it. I think they did a good job with this.
Alrighty, Reef. Now, this is a really weird piece of news. This is our last piece of news for the day. Reef has announced a second edition. And what is this second edition? It is different colored pieces and slightly different artwork. And that's it.
Actually, I would even contest that second point. I don't think it's slightly different artwork. They changed the font that spells out Reef. That's it.
I think the boards might be slightly different, Z. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the box.
Sure. I thought they did not do that, but okay, maybe you're right. I thought it was the typography that says Reef on the cover, and yes, the colors changed for what they're saying are more naturally occurring colors. It's fine. I'm glad. Look, I'm glad it says second edition on the cover, because people can look at it and go, yes, this is the new printing. It's all so you know, sometimes I complain about when they don't tag later editions because I don't know which one I'm getting. So please, it's great. Also, is this really a second edition? You know what I mean? It's the same game. I mean, it's like identical except for colors.
I guess the good news is, though, if you already own Reef, you won't be tempted to buy this. Right? They're not doing the thing
they're very aware of how gamer brains work.
Yeah, but they're not doing the thing where they're like, there's 5 different cards in this set.
I'll give you that. You know what? That's a classy move, because that's always seems to be the default go-to kind of gotcha move.
Yeah, because they had that little mini expansion with the fish, and they could have easily said this one includes that.
I agree. I was very surprised when I first saw this announcement. I immediately before I read it thought, the fish are going to be in this. So I was very surprised they were not, you know. I do wonder how people feel about that, if they wish they were in there. So, you know, because then again, people who don't have it might be like, all right, I'll spring for it now that it has a little more content. But by that same token, people who have the first one are going to feel burnt by it. There's now more stuff in this one when I, you know, supported the early printing. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's the board game news. We're going to jump to some other news. While we're jumping to that other news, folks, get some paper and pencils, because you're going to come back and fight against Z.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, fellow gamers. I know that you guys are probably wondering what the heck is Gloryhound doing right now, and I want to let you guys know that we have been super busy. We are 110% committed to playing games, of course. Yeah, playing lots of games, you know, doing research, being an adulting. Definitely not standing in a hallway feeding my dog snacks. Yeah, definitely not doing that. Featured this week, we have Final Girl by Van Ryder Games that takes a horrific party of one and throws them into a horror movie for 30 to 45 minutes, as you'll get a chance to spend your game day playing through one of 4 different nightmare-fueled boxes, each with their own unique scenario, heroines, and murderous baddies that can be mixed and matched in this spooky game system that starts at $35. Next up, we have Canvas by Road to Infamy, which gives 1 to 5 art-loving citizens a cutthroat masterpiece challenge, as you and your fellow artists will be submitting their art to see who will be granted the Best in Show for 30 minutes. By using layered transparent sheets, players will get a chance to create their own showpiece, racking up points for set collection and using the most taboo of all gamer weapons: hate drafting, in this game that you can literally hang on your wall for $28. Speaking of artistic segues, I just can't make happen this week. We have Steampunk Rally Fusion by Roxley Games, which is a standalone sequel that can be played with the base game and calls for 2 to 8 inventors to rev their engines, as players will be racing through a modular track and using dice placement to build the perfect machine as they speed down the roadway for 60 minutes, using cogs to manipulate parts, fusion dice to give you a burst of power, and working on those secret little projects to escape your foes in this inventive racing game that starts at $55. And lastly, we have Mini Express from Modeus Game Design, who dares 3 to 5 wealthy investors to grab up some of those good old-fashioned railroad stocks. Players will be building routes across the US, increasing their reputation, and investing in the right railroads at the height of their power for 40 to 60 minutes in this 18XX light train game that starts at $40. Thanks so much for joining me this week, guys. I hope that all of you stay happy, safe, and healthy during this quarantine. And if you're interested in hearing about any of these Kickstarters, make sure to join me at gloryhound.com, as we will talk about all of these Kickstarters in depth and if we would back them or not. It is a live show, so you guys get to participate and tell us what you guys think about these Kickstarters. And other than that, I will see all of you next week.
So, in 1879, the Brits, they want more land, right? So what do? They send 1,700 soldiers someplace in Africa where there's a tribe called the Zulus. That place is called Isandlwana. Isandlwana? What? Isandlwana. The Zulus, we're gonna take them, right? Anyways, so they attacked the Zulus. And you know how many there was? 20,000. So, I'll let you figure out what happened. I'll give you a few seconds. So after the Zulus decimated the Brits, 4,000 of the Zulus walked 10 miles to Rorke's Drift, where there was 100 more Brits. They were going to take care of them. Worthington Publishing and the battles of Isandlwana, and a couple of minutes later, Rorke's Drift in Victoria Cross 2 Deluxe Edition. Yes! So let's look at what's inside this box. Hey, you got a double-sided mounted board, you get 3 counter sheets, 2 sets of rules, 2 sets of player aids, because why would you want to share? You're at war. Also, you get dice, rule book, and, as I said, player aid cards. Isandlwana. And you know, they're really nice, these guys, Worthington Publishing. They even put in a counter tray. Yeah. So I wanted to be nice too. That's me in the glare of the counter tray saying hello. So think of it as 2 games in one. The first game, Isandlwana, basically it's block formation battles, right? Like in the old time of Napoleon. They were still doing that. And the second game is a state of siege game. So they're coming at you and you gotta fend them off. Because in the first battle, things don't look too good. But in the second battle, historically, they won. So this is a 2-player game, right? So how did the Brits win? Well, the Brits win by inhibiting the Zulus to get their victory points. How many victory points do the Zulus have to get? Well, they need 14 strength points. That's it. This game is a 2-player game, 3 out of 10 in complexity, plays in about an hour and a half. What more do you want? The map board is divided into different zones, right? And the combat is so easy. Depending on how many zones you are away from the enemy, and depending on how many dice you roll, if you're 3 zones away, you're hitting a 5 to 6. If you're 2 zones away, you're hitting a 4, 5, and 6. You get it? It's easy. Also, the Zulus have hidden information, meaning you don't know how many warriors there are. So, the Brits, those big numbers, means that you have 2 strength points. The Zulus, you don't know. So when you attack, you turn it over, and then they kill you. Easy, fun, fast-playing, 2-player game, Victoria Cross 2, great. I had a good time. You know what? The Brits thought they were going to slaughter these bunch of savages.
You ever notice a bicycle deck of cards is really nice to shuffle? It's partially because of the linen finish on the cards. So if you look really closely, you'll see, if you hit the light just right, there is a bit of a texture to the cards. Of course, my thumb can feel it. You can't feel it through the camera, but you see the little texture on here? That's called a linen finish. All right, oh yeah, you can see it a little bit more there. Most bicycle decks of cards, most playing cards are going to have those. Now, a lot of hobby games also have those, so this is from the Crew. The second edition from the Crew, first edition did not have this, but you'll see it has a texture on it. And so what the linen finish is, it is a material that they put on the outsides of the cards to make them shuffle a little better, make them a little thicker, give it a nice snap, makes the cards a little easier to shuffle and handle as well. There are some games that don't have this though, so these are some cards from Inner Compass by AEG. You see there's no, just kind of a smooth finish. Not to say these cards are any worse, because they are, a nice card stock, but they're not the same. All right. So when people are talking about linen finish, that's what we're talking about. This kind of pattern that shows up on the cards that gives the cards a little bit of a texture. That's it.
All right, folks. We're back, and we're going to be playing a short little game here. So let me explain some things. First of all, this is a game in which you're going to write down the answers, and then you compare them. Please don't answer these as we're showing them on the screen. Don't ruin it for other people who might be in chat. Just wait till we go through the answers themselves. Secondly, Z has an advantage here because Z looks at board game covers more than anyone else. So I called this The Eyes Have It. And you know what? I looked this up on the internet. There's quite a few. This phrase has not been used infrequently. It is all over the place. The eyes have it. Anyhow, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to have to try to see if I get, there we go. I'm going to show you some eyes close up, and you're going to tell me what game they come from. This is actually not from a game. This is the good-looking Z Garcia's eyeball. See that?
Jeez, that is terrible. That is horrific.
And that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Show you 12 eyeballs, and you're going to guess what 12 games they come from. They're mostly not obscure games. There's one that's a little obscure, I guess, but they're all games that we have talked about on our show. So here we go. I'm going to show them to you 4 at a time. So here are the first 4. Now, some of these are easier than others, I think. Some of them are trickier, maybe. So when you look at eyes, and so as I was doing this, I thought about switching to noses halfway through, but then noses might be more difficult. I once did by the way, Z, you let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
I once did a game, this was in Games Magazine a while ago, where they showed celebrities' eyes, and it's amazing how well you can guess some people's eyes. Like Julia Roberts' eye is really recognizable. So... And, some eyes.
Okay, I'm done. I got my best guesses.
Are you feeling confident on any of them? I feel like
I feel confident on a couple.
All right.
How specific do I have to be with these answers? That's the thing. I guess you'll let me know. Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
And jumping back, here's the next 4.
All right.
Now, some of these, unfortunately, got a little pixelated as I went in because, some of these games, it's hard to find a really high definition, or I had to zoom in pretty far just to get the person's eye or thing's eye. But eyes are very telling. This is a brown eye section, except that one guy has a white eye or a super light blue eye. I'm not sure. He doesn't have an iris. That's black. That's a weird eye.
Oh, geez, what is that called? All right, I'm feeling pretty good about these.
This one would have been harder if I had done even just the eye, but I give you a little bit of surrounding area outside the eye.
That would just be insanity. All right.
Here's the last four.
Oh boy. Okay, none of these are jumping out at me immediately.
Really? I thought two of them would be too obvious. I was a little concerned. Two of them I'm feeling pretty good about. But again, none of these are super obscure games, at least these four.
No, oh, wow. A couple of these at least are going to upset me when I find out what they were.
Well, 12 bothers me a lot because I thought when I did it, I look at the eye, it looks like the eye is upside down.
It does look like it's upside down, yes.
It's not though. But it's just the way it's drawn, I guess. I guess that's maybe makeup on the top there, but it looks like the eye's upside down.
Yeah.
So I can't, because I'm running this PowerPoint on my computers here, folks, I can't see chat, but I can ask Roy, are people recognizing them? Do they feel good about it? No, that's good, because I asked people not to say them. Okay, some people recognize him. This is the hardest four for you?
By far. I haven't written a thing down.
Really? I thought one of these you would know for sure.
And again, maybe once you tell me, I'll be like, oh, duh, of course. Right now, I'm not getting any of them.
All right, well, here we go. Let's look at the answers. Everyone ready?
Is that it?
Check your own scores. That's it. Just 12.
Oh, man. Okay.
So number one, what do you think this one is?
Either Lockup or the other one with the roll and write cartographers. I wrote Lockup. It's one of those two.
It's Cartographers. Although,
all right.
I just realized the name's not on this picture I'm showing here, but it's a role player tale, Cartographers. Yeah. It's the guy looking out.
Half a point for that.
This guy, I like this artwork, by the way. This is very good artwork. That's a pretty good
really
picture.
Good. It's really good, yeah.
All right, what about this one?
That is Bob Ross, whatever his game was called, just the Bob Ross.
Right, Bob Ross, The Art of Chill. If you just wrote Bob Ross, you're fine.
Yeah,
this one had a little bit of a clue because not on this eye, but when I showed it, you could see a little bit of the green in the background. Yeah,
you can see some happy little trees.
Yeah. If I ever do smiles or faces, he's like one of the few people who smiles on a board game. All right.
That's true.
This is the easiest one, I think, in my opinion.
By far, sure. That's Abyss.
That is correct. Abyss. And that's actually what the cover looks like. The name's not on the cover. And this is one of the 5 covers. This is the most. This is the cover that.
Standard cover, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 4.
I know it's one of those West Kingdom type. I wrote Paladins. I think it might be Paladins.
It's Architects. It's the king there. We'll give you half point if you wrote another West Kingdom game.
I got, half a point. So right now I've got 3 points in total. All right.
His art style is so obvious. With his eyes and everything. All right. What about this one?
Well, it's out of order because that was number 7, but that's Kalis.
Oh, sorry. That is Kalis. That's number 7, folks. Sorry about that. I must have put them out of order for some reason.
That's all right. Number 7, Kalis, yeah.
And this was number 8.
8, and that is Coup, the reprint of Coup.
And that's because you can see the thing on her nose, whatever that is. That looks like an incredibly uncomfortable piece of jewelry, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Looks
she
like
has
that was.
to glue that on every morning.
Yeah, I know. All right, so this is 5. Sorry, I moved the number down. This is 5.
This is fearsome floors.
Yeah, this is the obscure one, folks, if you've never seen it before. But that eyeball's pretty iconic. That guy is pretty scared. And he's not scared of anything. He just finished up from the show of Grease. And
That's right.
And now he's there with his Frankenstein coming after him. What about this one? This is number 6.
This is based on that video game, Rocket Jump or Jump Pack or...
Wow, that's pretty impressive. You're right. It is Jetpack Joyride.
Jetpack, okay.
How did you... Wow, I didn't think you would get that one.
I could tell from the art style. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a good art style. I think this may be very similar to the art from the game itself. I've not played the video game.
It is. That's why, yeah.
All right, last 4. Here's the tricky one.
I have no idea.
That's because I used the character that most people don't. There's 2 characters on the cover. If I'd used the man, you would have recognized it. But I used the woman from Spyfall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
See, if I put his sunglass thing in there, you might have got it too easily.
Maybe,
so I thought I would.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, she's in a lot of the game, but I guess that he looks like such a dork. He's more memorable, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. This is the one I can't believe you didn't know.
I really don't know what this is. Oh my goodness. He's pulling a mad face, though. He is pulling a crazy face.
Yeah, that's definitely the face of someone on the toilet.
You had to show me the chin. If you'd given me the chin, I would be like, oh, come on, it's Thanos. Look at that chin.
It's the only... How many games have a purple face on the cover?
I wasn't getting it, yeah.
All right.
Huh. Wow,
what about this one? I'll give you a clue. This game was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres very recently.
Llama?
That's right. That's a crazy llama, baby.
Oh, it's terrible. I thought it was an eye on a bird. I was like, maybe a bird, maybe some sort of little bird. Oh my goodness.
And then the upside down eye.
I just did not get any 4 of these. I don't know what this is.
Like 2
Oh, wait. Don't tell me. Santorini?
That's correct.
Yes! I'm getting it. I'm giving myself a point for that.
All right, Roy, I'm about to go off sharing the screen here. So let's go back to this PNZ. This way I can go back and see what people are saying in the chat. Where are we at here, folks? How did everyone do? Scoring out of 12. What did you get, Mr. Z?
I got 8.
8? That's pretty strong. So
it's counting my 2 half points.
Counting 2 points. Monica said 0 for 0, but I knew a few when I was told which game it was. Sure. Also, Z had a slight advantage because he's done some of these cover games before, so he's really stared at covers in the past.
Most of my reviews that people don't realize are based on largely staring at the covers. Really, I mean.
Oh, 3 people said they got 9 out of 12.
Oh,
this person said 10 out of 12. That's pretty impressive. Some people said 0. That's okay. You don't need to know what the covers look like.
Nobody really needs to know this, folks. You are more mentally stable than I am. If you haven't spent this much time.
Well, I feel good. Nobody said it was too easy.
No, some of those were toughies, yeah.
I was actually worried.
That Thanos, though.
I was pulling the pictures out of the Dropbox, and I thought, well, Z noticed that I'm doing this? Because if you had been online, you would have seen the activity.
Yes, right. No, I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good. Some of those were stumping me for sure. But then Jetpack Joyride, I knew almost immediately. I just couldn't recall quite what the game was. I was like, an app game where you press the button, he jumps around. But yeah, those last 4, I don't know. The Thanos just did not. I thought it was some big. It made me think of like, is this another Abyss type cover? It looks like a big Leviathan or something, some big monster.
I really thought that was the easiest one of all the ones I did, except for Abyss. I was like, I'm going to take this one out. It's too easy. All righty. Well, let's continue on, jumping to some more contributors.
Hey everyone, today on 2 Minute Mini, we're turning the brute from Gloomhaven from this into this in just 2 minutes. Hey everyone, Matt here from the Plastic Canvas and welcome to 2 Minute Mini, and today we're painting the brute from Gloomhaven. First of all, I just want to say a massive thanks to Stella and Tarrant from Meeple University for sending down to me some of their miniatures from Gloomhaven. If you haven't checked their stuff out, I definitely recommend stopping by Meeple University for some awesome board game content. So to paint the brute, there were two main aspects of him that I wanted to focus my time on, and that was the skin and the fur coat that's on his back. They're definitely the most prominent aspects that get seen. There aren't too many smaller details to worry about. So with the skin, I laid down an initial just mid-grey base coat and then wet blended in the highlights and the shade, and then put a black wash over the top because there is a bit of texture in his skin, and then just went back and more carefully just refined those highlights because the blends in that initial wet blending weren't as smooth as they could have been. And then with his fur, I went with a wolf pelt sort of look. So lots of wet blending here. Started with a really deep blue, then worked out to a really light bone color, then a sepia wash over the top to bring out some of that detailing and the texture in there, and then I just went back with a highlight. I started by re-highlighting in the same colors that I used to base coat with, and then I just started to overlap them because some of those blends had disappeared, because obviously when coming back with a highlight, when using those initial 5 colors, those blends are lost from the wet blending, and then I started to mix some of the tones in together just to really help smooth them out, to really bring those blends back, and then just finished it off with different textures like the rust and things like that. Really stoked with how this guy ended up, especially the skin and the fur coat there, which is those aspects that I really wanted to nail. But if you want to see the full version of this video, head over to my channel, The Plastic Canvas, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast.
Hey everybody, I'm Jana from One Pip Wonder. And today in this little segment, I wanted to check out my collection and see how many board games I can actually play solo. I recently decided I think I want to try doing that a little bit more. The problem is I just don't know what we have. So I know we have a couple. I want to see overall in our whole collection what games I could possibly play solo. Guys, I have to say, I was rather surprised. We had a lot more than I expected. So our collection is not huge, but I was quite surprised at how many of the games we do have you can play solo. Look at this. These are all games that we've had for years, some of them, and I had no idea you could solo them. I'm particularly thrilled that Viniculture has a solo variant. I never knew that in the expansion, and we haven't played this yet. So I think I'm gonna break it out and play it by myself. So you saw what I have here. I'm curious, what is your recommendation? If you've played it solo and you liked it, let me know. Or if one of these is just terrible solo and complete waste of time, let me know in the comments so I won't bother. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this maybe was informative just for your own collection, or maybe games you're thinking about buying and just wondered if they played solo. Now you know, this is what I had, and I was really surprised how many of them play solo. I hope you guys have a great day, stay safe, and stay healthy. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Hi folks, I'm Andy from Portable Gaming and welcome to Change of Venue, a show where I talk about board game IPs that I really love as work really well in other mediums too. And today I want to talk about the Role Player universe. Now Role Player, for those of you who don't know, is a dice drafting game about building the perfect adventurer. It has cartographers, a flip and write game about charting an unknown fantasy land, and Lockup, a brilliant game about surviving in prison in a fantasy world. It also has a new game on the horizon that I'm really excited about. where I think this would fit well is a very interesting place. So over the last 5 years or so, Dungeons and Dragons has become much more popular. RPGs in general have become more mainstream than ever before. And alongside this, we've had the growth of the adult-orientated animation. Things such as Archer, Rick and Morty, Final Space, Bob's Burgers, all that sort of stuff. And I think the two intersecting would be the perfect place for a role player to take the crown. I would love to see a show that has that sort of humour, those daft characters, those ridiculous situations that you might see in something like Rick and Morty or Final Space, but also have that really serious storytelling element, those big risks, those action sequences, the drama and gravitas that you would want from a fantasy tale melded together. And I don't think we could get that if we tried to adapt something like Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, because there is so much lore there that people have investment in. There's so much serious lore, there's so much silly lore, but there's so much expectation of those different franchises that you couldn't live up to it trying to adapt them in that manner. But role player, you could. Role player is fantastic. It pays homage and love to the different tropes of the fantasy world, while also poking fun at it tongue-in-cheek for the stupider parts of it. And because of that, it has that. It doesn't have the years and decades of lore people are invested in. What it does have is a fertile ground of shared visual language and trope-based knowledge that could become a beautiful place to start and build characters we can explore this world in. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. And as always, I've been Andy, and it's your round.
Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back to 20 Questions. We are going to be playing today for the prize of 1 million applauses.
I've never had that.
You've never had that. It's going to be a game today, a board game. As always, Tom's going to ask me questions. Here are the 20 possible 20 questions. You're only going to ask me questions that the audience poses for you, so please start putting them in there. You probably know how this works, everybody. I got my spinner ready to go. I got some follow-up questions. If you get some of the letters, that is that. If you're not quite sure how this works, you'll catch up. Here we go.
Just
Tom, what do you got?
As a heads up, folks, we got this on question 16 last time, so I'm feeling good.
Last time I gave you low-hanging fruit. Last time, I mean, Con Air. Come on, everybody knows Con Air.
Yeah, you picked it.
This
All
one's
right.
gonna be tough. If I was going to go
Scott
out on a limb, it's going to be a tough one. Go.
All right. Scott says, does the game contain dice?
Yes. You want to flip
And
this?
flip it. Flip it.
Dang it. You got a letter
on
already.
the first try.
I
Woo.
like you. I like it. Here we go.
So it contains dice. Click, 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 click.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Z.
Folks, you can't use your Board Game Geek searches here. You got to think of it yourself. All right. Well, that's good. We narrowed it down a little.
Wow. I will never win this game. How did you get Z? Come on! All right, Tom, would you like a question?
Yes, I would like a question. Mark. Oh, another letter. That's right. Go ahead.
You want another one? Here we go, baby. We were just talking last time about Con Air. Oh, Con Air. Con Air is a wonderful film, but it was not the only movie with Nicolas Cage that came out in 1997. What other film came out in 1997 with Nicolas Cage?
Oh, wow. I have no idea. I'll guess.
Come on, cat.
I'll guess Face Off.
That is correct. Face Off.
I thought it was going to be some indie flick.
No, man, he was on top of the world in 1997. Here we go.
If this is another Z, we got it, baby.
Yeah, it's Bizzer Wizard or whatever that game is at that point. It's an F. So you have a Z, you have an F. Here we go. Keep it going.
F to Z Entertainment. All right, F2Z. Yeah. Oh wait, I haven't asked the question yet. Mark says, is the game co-op?
No.
All right. I don't even know if we need to flip chips anymore, but we will. We'll flip one more. Flip it.
These are random. I'm shuffling them. It's all random. Here we go, you jerks. I thought I had you this time. I shall never taste that soul, that juicy soul.
What? Was I going to lose my soul if I lose the game?
The letter is H. H as in hate. Tom, are you aware of Harry Potter?
I've heard of the name.
What is the 4th Harry Potter book?
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
You reading animal. Here's another letter.
That's the only one I know for sure, because the 4th one is where the whole series changed.
What did it change into? Repetition?
No, they killed the vampire kid. No, they killed what's his name? Cedric. Batman, you're right.
It finally took out the bad man who laughs. The letter is W. Here we go. Keep bringing it. You're writing these down, Tom, yes?
I am. I feel like people can architects of Z West Kingdom.
All right, here we go.
All right. Let's see here. People are just all right, Matt says, does the game contain miniatures?
It does not.
No miniatures. I don't want another chip. Not right now.
All right.
Also, the chance of there being 3 red chips in a row is really small.
Yeah, I've shuffled them in between each time, so. Go ahead.
Yes, I agree with this person. They said good letters, but no clue what the game is. I agree. We're missing a vowel. We have no vowels. That's the problem.
We don't need another vowel.
Can I buy a vowel?
It depends. Maybe. I could probably figure out rules for that on the fly.
No, I'm not going to feel bad about spoiling the 4th book of Harry Potter at this point. I'm sorry. If you haven't watched it, then you're a kid who's watching this show. It doesn't stop this spoiler nonsense. When did that book come out? Like 15 years ago now? Come on, guys.
I think you should have given us a spoiler warning if you were going to be dropping information like that. But again, that's just me. I care about the viewers. What do you?
Mandy and Steven say, does it support more than 4 players? So more than 4.
Not. No.
So it's 4 or less.
Yes. Or fewer. 4 or fewer. But yes.
4 or fewer.
You want to flip this? Tell me you want to flip this.
No, I don't want to flip it.
Flip it real good.
Okay, Ben, I agree with you mathematically. The chance of a 3rd red chip is no lower after 2 red chips than any other. I agree, but I'm looking at the overall stats of the chance of him having had 3 red chips to begin with. So,
you're a math beast.
Let's see.
Oh, now. It's so easy. It's staring me right in the face.
Mark says, does the game have expansions?
I don't believe
1 or more
so.
expansion.
No. In fact, I'll click right here and find out for you. But yes.
We won't
it
count
looks like
promo as an expansion. Oh.
I think this is an expansion, yes.
All right. Monica says, does it play solo?
Wait, this was a question and you want to flip this or
No,
go for
I'm not
the
taking chips. I'm not taking chips for a while.
All right. Does it play solo? Yes.
All right.
Not flipping. Okay, you are down now by 6 questions, which means you're at 14. Let's shuffle these.
George says, have you ever included this on a top 10?
How am I supposed to remember that? I don't know.
Wow. Well, if you don't know, that's an answer too, though.
Yeah,
like
cool.
You would remember,
I don't know.
You would remember if it was a definite yes. All
right,
I'm
correct.
Cool. No chip. No chip. Danny says, have Have I played it, do you think?
Let me go to my geek buddy analysis. Tom's a geek buddy of mine. You don't have it rated. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong possibility. If I haven't rated it, I mean, I haven't rated all the games that come out in the past year because that's something I run a little bit behind on. No chip.
Are you starting to get nervous?
And Anthony says, are there multiple editions of the game?
I don't think so.
All right. Matt says, no chip. Matt says, is the game horror themed?
No.
All right, I'm flipping that chip.
Nothing. It's a 1.
Just to be different.
You are down half your questions right now. 3, 6, 10 left. Here we go. You should now start to concern yourself.
I am a little concerned. Manuel says, you said it included dice. Are the dice custom dice?
Yes.
All right. No chip. Pagan Eagle says, was the game originally from Asia?
No. That's an interesting question. I like it.
You know, sometimes when I'm writing these clues down, no chip, I write the person's name who asked the question instead of the clue. I'm looking at it going, well, that's not helpful at all.
You're not going to get this, Tom. I feel like I might finally be able to.
All right, I'm going to ask. Mark has a question here, which I was I was hoping someone would ask. Is the title an English title?
Yes.
All right. No chip.
That would be particularly mean. Wow. I hadn't even.
Well, not if it's a popular game that I might know. You know, ones that we've said in the past.
Bizzer Wizard.
I think it's Bezer Wezer, isn't it?
I don't know. Come on. You have 7 questions left, and then I own your soul.
Chat says it's the game. Well, if it is. Yes, we got all the letters. We just didn't know it.
That'd be great. That would be great.
I was just watching a Watch Mojo top 10 list, like the top 10 worst fails on Wheel of Fortune. It's pretty good.
That sounds great. I got to see that.
All right, Aaron says, are the dice multicolored?
I don't think so. Like, do they come in different colors in the game?
Yeah, like is there more than one color of dice? Is there more than one color?
No, they all look the same, I think.
All right, flip it.
It's a nothing chip. All right, you're down to 6. Boom. Yeah, you should be starting to really sweat.
Matt says, was the game released after 2015, so 2016 or more?
No.
Or no flipping.
Good. Oh. Oh, this is too obscure for you, isn't it? Ooh, I'm going to saute your soul. Put a little onion on it.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm definitely better with onion.
You're not going to get this. I'm sorry.
I'm not getting good questions to ask right now.
Oh, now.
These aren't narrowing it down.
Rescind your right to continue existing, human.
Claustrophobia. All right, I guess I'll ask this. No, I can't ask that. It won't be right. Well, I'll ask it because I don't know what else to ask. Monica says it's an FFG game.
No.
The reason I feel pretty confident, I'm not flipping it. The reason I feel pretty confident on that is because I've played almost every FFG game, I think.
You're down to 4 questions and then one final guess. Is anybody even close? Is anybody starting to give you suggestions for what it might be?
Nobody's giving suggestions. The couple suggestions, there was some zombie games, obviously, because of the Z, but when you said no horror, people stopped with that. And then there was one in German, which I would have guessed also made sense, but you said it's not in German, the title. So
correct. I just don't think you're aware of this game, possibly. Maybe you are. I don't know.
All right, let's see. James says, is this game set in the real world?
No.
Ooh. Flip that chip.
Flip that chip. Nothing. You suck again. 3 questions left.
All right, One Pip Wonder says, is the theme fantasy?
Yes.
All right. No flipping.
You lucky dog! We could have had your soul so much sooner.
It's fantasy. Need some more questions, people. All right, and it can talk says, does it have a subtitle?
To the title? No, it does not. Just the
There's
title.
a lot of games with the subtitle.
No,
I'll
that's
flip
true.
that one.
Nada.
All right.
And then this is your last one.
Okay. Well, we're definitely going to flip it, so.
Make it count.
Yeah, Ben says this started so great and has gone downhill quickly. I don't disagree.
Right. That's right. See, I give you that false hope. It tenderizes the soul. It's really gross, my soul obsession. It's like you can't eat a soul, I think. All right, let me look here. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. I'm going to help you out a little bit here. You need it. I need to give you a fighting chance.
No, wait, why are you giving me a fighting chance?
I'm not giving you anything you're not earning. How about that? I can't just rip your soul from within you. I have to give you a
all right. I'm
chance.
just gonna ask this: Is it a two-player game?
Is it a 2-player only game?
Yes.
No.
Flip it. Did you put that there on purpose?
No, it was the last one. I haven't manipulated anything.
It was a letter.
All right, here we go.
Now.
Condemn him. Do not give him a letter.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. This game brings out the evil in me.
No, it's not the game.
The letter is L. L as in loser. And I have a question for you. Several questions, possibly. We'll see how well you do. What is Uwe Rosenberg's highest ranked game, Tom? On Board Game Geek, of course.
Feast for Odin.
That is correct. Feast for Odin. I'm going to go ahead and spin that. I'll ask you a follow-up question. Feast for Odin's number 23, by the way. All right.
Okay.
It's about to finish. You have a T as well in your letter soup.
Sean says,
like
we
I
can't
said,
win with these terrible questions that literally narrow down nothing. I think I might argue, Sean, that that's literally a false statement. Every question has narrowed down from something.
Yeah. All right, so like I said, Feast for Odin is 23, and that's this highest, how many entries does that genius of a man have in the top 100, though? If you got this nose on, I'm going to give you 2 letters, fool.
It's a long title. Well, we know that probably Le Havre and Agricola and Caverna are up in there too.
Okay.
But I want to say, hang on, I want to say that there might be 2 Agricolas in there. I know Agricola was tricky, that there was the second edition made it. So if that's the case, I think that is. I'm going to say 5 total.
So the one Feast for Odin.
Then Le Havre, Agricola, Caverna. It's possible that the 2 to 3 player one made it in there. And his smaller games haven't made it up there yet. And Or Labor is not in the top 100. So I'll go with 5. I might be missing something. I don't remember what though.
You are missing 2 things, in fact. Fields of Aro is in the top 100.
Well, I said that might be in there.
It is. And the other one that people seem to discount, including me, Patchwork is in the top 100.
That's right. It is in the top 100. All right. Well.
Feel shame? You feel shame? No letter for you. What could this possibly be? It's a fantasy game. If you could ask me any question, Tom, no restriction from the audience, no restriction as to a yes or no question. The only thing you cannot ask me is, what is the title of the game?
I would ask you, how many words are in the title?
And I would say 4. And then I would put on my bib as I get ready to consume that soul.
Yeah, I think you might be right. 4 words.
4 words. Each one trickier than the last.
I think you fooled everyone because nobody's even given me like a remotely good name. And people are really, really stuck on Wizard of Oz for some reason.
Well, I think nobody knows this game. That's the problem. Look, you guys are about there. You giving up yet?
No. Hang on. I'm letting people write some more things here.
Trevin
won't let the zombie. Trevin won't let the zombie thing go because he says it could be a zombie game but not be horror. It's still classified under horror if there's a zombie in it.
I know. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, it's not a zombie game.
It can't be that game because I have played that one and I would have ranked it.
What game?
The Wizard Always Wins. I've played that one.
I also don't own that.
I also think Z would hate that game.
I don't own it. Yeah. It feels so good to trump you for once.
Alrighty, well I'm gonna have to call it here because no one's giving me a good one here. So I'm just gonna say
Wizard.
We don't know.
Word Wizard was a good lead. You know, I think you were right. You got the W and the Z pretty much right off the bat. This game, which I don't know if you know or not, Tom, is, let me open this up here. It's a game that's called Wizards of the Wild.
That is correct. I've never heard of this game.
It's from Crosscut. It's from AB West and some co-designers. So the same company that put out Adam West, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So this is from the same designers that did the Ninja ones. What's that called? Kodachi. There's a follow-up to I forget right now. But anyway, yeah, Adam West is a lesser-known designer who's got his own company. He's done other stuff outside of that. He's done stuff with WizKids. He's done, stuff with other companies. But Wizards of the Wild.
You know what? Actually, people actually said Wizards of the Wild before you showed it. I just didn't see it and didn't say it. But I'd already surrendered, folks. We had a lot of time. Oh, someone did say Wizards of the Wild way back here. Sorry, James. I didn't see that, and I wouldn't have picked it anyway because I never heard of it.
Well, James is smarter than a 5th grader. I'm calling it.
Wizards of the Wild Rising. All right. So
nicely done to James and everybody else who said it, but Tom, you let me down.
All right, we're not done yet. We still got a few more contributors. Let's get to them, and then we'll be back here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are Our Family Plays Games. And we are so excited to be new Dice Tower contributors. Now, our focus with Our Family Plays Games is to bring more community and bring diversity into the board gaming hobby. Now, we got into board gaming as kids.
Yes.
You know, we all start out with Monopoly and Sorry and Scrabble and all of that.
Life.
Payday. And we love those kind of games, you know. But we got a little bored with them because they were kind of one-dimensional, you know. And so we taught our kids those kind of games.
Yeah.
And as they got older, we kind of stopped playing them until my husband stumbled upon Settlers of Catan.
Looking at the internet.
And so he brought Settlers of Catan, and it just was wow.
Yeah.
This is so different. And so we went from there to other games, and now we've been in this hobby for quite a few years. So we are so excited to share our love with you.
Now, we're going to talk about games that we have enjoyed as a family big time. And we hope that your family will enjoy them too.
So if you haven't checked us out on YouTube, please do so. Check out our channel.
And also find us on Facebook and Instagram. So until next time, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
From Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, well, today we're talking about King Domino. This is the Spiel des Jahres winner from Bruno Cathala.
Yeah, so this game is a tile drafting game. You're a king and you're trying to build your kingdom in King Domino, and you're trying to get the best tiles for you to create the best kingdom you can.
All right, so first, we have to talk about what we're doing to try to achieve better health in our lives. What I really hate, as you can probably tell from looking at me, is that I don't like to exercise. And one of the things I used to do a lot was play disc golf. It kind of gave me a chance to exercise and kind of take my mind away from the actual act of exercising. I haven't been able to do that as much because a lot of parks are closed right now. But I will say that we went for a walk today on some trails, and we brought along a nature book. It gave a purpose to our walk. Hey, what's that squirrel over there? Which kind of squirrel is that? Hey, I hear a woodpecker. Let's figure out if we can figure out what woodpecker it is from this book. And it gave us really nice kind of purpose to the walk that we were going on. So if you're like me and you find, it's a struggle to go for any kind of exercise, give a purpose to your walk. Whether it's throwing a disc around with some friends or listening to a podcast or looking up at the nature and using a book. Give a purpose to your walk. It might make it a little more fun and a little faster.
Well, King Domino is a game that I really enjoyed. It was fast, and I like tiling, and I like the drafting. One of the things that I think is really neat about this game is the seamless turn order. So how you take your turns on that round sets it up for the next round, and I just really like how that works out.
We've always loved King Domino. We played a ton of it back when we first got it. It hasn't hit the table as often recently until Blue Orange came out with a free print and play expansion called The Court, which really kind of breathed new life into this game for us. So I highly recommend that. It's on their website at Blue Orange Games. You print this out, cut out the pieces. It just adds this really nice level of interaction and extra things that you can do without really changing the complexity or how long the game is.
Yeah, I really like that print and play. If you'd like to hear our full thoughts on King Domino or our full thoughts on that print and play, go ahead and find us on YouTube under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews, or find us on Facebook under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Well, everybody, this is Ryan. I'm Bethany. Hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye everybody.
Guys.
What's up, everyone? My name is Melissa McCack, and this is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love, and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week, I want to talk about Stardew Valley, the video game. This was a game that I did not think I would like. It is a sandbox farming style game, and I had absolutely no interest in this until I played it on the Nintendo Switch. And that I would only really play this game on the Switch for me personally, but pretty much you get to do whatever you want. You could go mine caves, you could farm crops, you really feel like you're part of the town, and I think that's what I like the most of it. It sort of feels like it's living and it's breathing, and I really feel like I'm a member of this town. Anyway, I would like to connect that to Caverna. So Caverna almost feels like Stardew Valley, the board game, in a way, where it's not so much that you feel like you're part of a town, but it's got that sandbox feel to it, and you get to decide what you want to do. Do you want to focus on your cave system? Do you want to focus on your crops and the farming? Do you want animals and whatnot? I think you could do the same thing in Stardew Valley with animals. I love this game to pieces. I always have a ton of fun when I play Caverna, and I think it goes hand in hand with Stardew Valley. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you can check out mine and my brother's podcast called Room 51. We also just went onto YouTube now, where we're saying our top 51 games of all time, if you want to check into that.
Alrighty, folks, that's it for another episode. We want to thank all of our contributors, doing a fantastic job as always. Don't forget to enter our contest. Slide back to the very beginning of the episode to see the details on how to enter that. 48 hours will announce the winner. We'll be back later today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to announce the nominees for the Dice Tower Awards from last year. The 13th Annual Dice Tower Awards for the year 2019. What are they? Well, come back then and find out. It'll be a shortish video. Me and Z just talk about them live. We'll announce them, and we'll see you then. Until then, though, I'm Tom Vassell.
I am Z Garcia.
And we'll see y'all later.
Have fun, game.